President Clark, you can begin.
Forum. We've been doing these forums with faculty and staff, and now bring our student body into the fold. And I think this is a great opportunity. I know this is a great opportunity for you to interact directly with the leadership of Delaware State University. Many of you have met some of the students that'll soon be your classmates, and I was thrilled the other day to see exchanging of information and tours going on as we move closer and closer to this historic acquisition where both campuses will open up the opportunities that will be provided to our state, our region, and quite frankly, our country. And I don't want to take up too much time, but I'd like to turn it over to the president of Del State, someone I've known since I've been here. I respect him as a colleague, but more importantly, I treasure him as a friend, and we are collectively in very good hands. So Tony, over to you.
You're muted, Dr. Allen.
President Clark, thank you for those kind words and all you are doing for Wesley College and your students. Excuse me. I am pleased to be the proud president of Delaware State University, and Wesley students, I just want to say welcome. A couple of days ago, I did a video that was directed specifically to you. And in that video, what I said was you had a real decision to make when you were thinking about college. And Wesley College had to earn that decision. And that proud 147-year tradition is something we will cherish here as we go through this transition. But we also know here at Delaware State that we got to earn your decision too. It's not a foregone conclusion that you would come with us, but we can tell you for sure that we want you. And we're going to do everything possible to make this transition a smooth one, and can assure you that the offerings, benefits, and all those things that would accrue with a potential partnership like this will have significant benefits for your educational career and your future. When we've talked about this, President Clark and I, over a year ago, we knew that the opportunities, the educational opportunities, would be even more expansive by this unique partnership. I'm more convinced of that now than ever before. But having said that, we want you to be convinced too. So today is the first in a series of town halls designed especially for our Wesley students. You will hear from our head of strategic enrollment, Mr. Tony Boyle. Mr. Tony Boyle has over 30 years in higher education and is responsible for admissions, financial aid, student accounts, registration, international affairs, veterans affairs, and much, much more. He has been thinking and working with his colleagues at Wesley to make sure that the process for your transition is a smooth one, that you understand what you need to do to continue at Delaware State University and to build capacity for your future plans. As I said in our initial video, know this: if you transferred to Wesley or were admitted to Wesley in your freshman year, know that all the credits that you have earned will be counted here at Delaware State University. Also know that all of your majors are compatible with majors here at Delaware State University. So there is no concern relative to your interest or your matriculation as you think about this transition. Secondly, you'll hear from our provost, Dr. Sandra Delauda. I'm proud to say Dr. Sandra Delauda is not only the first woman who became provost at Delaware State in our 130-year history. I'm proud to say she's the best that we've had, and I've served in that role. She is fair-minded, an exceptional scientist, and a great higher education professional. She is your chief academic officer and has been working with your faculty throughout this process to make sure that our programs, again, are enhanced by this unique partnership. Most importantly, we want to be able to hear your questions. We recognize that we won't have all the answers today, but what I can assure you is that we will get those answers to you through these types of forums and in our ongoing interaction with you all. Finally, I'm proud to say that our students are excited about their new classmates as well. As President Clark mentioned, there was a nice photo shoot the other day on both campuses, but what emerged was the beginning of what I know will be lifelong friendships and ongoing collegial relationships as you not only become exceptional professionals in your disciplines, but probably more importantly, exceptional citizens for this great country of ours. So with that, I'll turn it over first to Mr. Boyle, then to Dr. Delauda, and then we'll open it up for questions. Mr. Boyle.
President Allen, thank you very much. Good afternoon to our students. I will be reading some of my information, so please pardon when I look down, but I will speak loud enough to ensure that you have all of the information that I want you to have this afternoon. First and foremost, I too echo our president's sentiment. You are our students. We are claiming you today. We claimed you a year ago. You are our students. You are our future, and we want you here at Delaware State University, your Delaware State University. And I want you to start claiming that, right? So I want you to make sure you understand that we start saying our students, we mean you. We start saying our students, we mean you. We start saying our students, we mean you. Transfer credits from Wesley. All academic credits earned at Wesley College or transferred into Wesley College and were accepted by Wesley College by way of another institution will be accepted by Delaware State University. Again, all credits earned at Wesley, all credits accepted by Wesley from a third institution will transfer into Delaware State University. Not only will your credits be accepted, but be mindful that your midterms, your final grades, along with your cumulative grades, and will be transferring with your academic history to the institution. Keeping in mind, all Wesley students that are now Delaware State students, you will not be considered a transfer student. You will simply be considered a continuing student here at Delaware State University. Very, very important in terms of all the records coming over, all of your history coming over, and then you will be a continuing student here with us at Delaware State University. Degree completion, President Allen just mentioned that a few minutes ago. All students enrolled in a program at Wesley College will have the same and comparable program here at Delaware State University. Each of Wesley College programs have been matched up. We've done the equivalency work. We have worked with your registrar, Pat Sandra. We have worked with our registrar here. We had the academic teams working to align the programs, and you'll hear from our provost about that alignment and the work that they're doing to ensure that when you come to us, you will have all of the programs as it were. The transition will not impact your academic journey. The academic journey that you set on, our pathway here is 4 years or less. Be assured that we are committed to ensuring that you too come in and complete what the remaining of your degree and finish here with us. Many of you over the past couple of weeks have done FERPA releases, releasing your data through the Office of the Registrar to us here at Delaware State University. We intend to use that data to get you into our system smoothly and then give you those things that you may hear as the same words that you have at Wesley College now. We have similar words, but Delaware State words. You may hear people saying your D number. That just simply means your student identification number that you have there now. Your D number then drives the things that you do. Well, I'm going to go and I'm going to do a process at Delaware State University. Why I need my D number to do this. You hear a lot of that D number stuff, and as you listen to that, they just want your ID, right? But you get here similarly to your ID at Wesley now. Your ID here is equally as valuable because it literally lets you into places, it lets you eat, it does all those things, and all of that we intend to do for you as you transition to us. So if you've not done the opt-in process for the FERPA release, please contact the Office of the Registrar, Pat Sandra, and she'd be happy to get that done for you so we can get your data over on this side so we can then serve you, provide you back that D number I just spoke about so we can get you registered and get you down the path. Many of you have already done your FAFSA form. You've already got it, went online at FAFSA.gov, and you've done the FAFSA words, you've done that stuff. Please be sure to take the time today to add Delaware State University's institutional code to your record, 001428. I know you've already used the 001433 that represents Wesley College. I encourage you to go out there today and add Delaware State University to your record so your files will come over from the federal government. Again, 001428. It is critical that you do that process, because what we've done for you in working with J. Michael Hall and the financial aid director there and our financial director here is ensuring that you maintain your priority. This is very important. You went out, you did 001433, and you did that. That was date stamped by the federal government. We have already looked at those records. So when you put 001428 for Delaware State University, you will still maintain the priority date that you did when you did it for Wesley. J. Michael Hall will then work with Al Dorset to ensure that happens. Why is that valuable? Because you were diligent to do that timely. We want to make sure that you benefit from the work you've already done. We will do that for you. Please be sure to add 001428 to your record, because our intent is to ensure that you have the priority that you deserve by doing your financial aid early. And we want to make sure you get full benefit for that. Again, we are excited about having you here at Delaware State University. We are going to do our utmost best to ensure that all of your needs are met. We're going to make sure that this process, all you have to do when the time comes, and President Allen says it, is to go register for your classes. When the time comes to go apply for your housing, as it were, we will do the groundwork for you. We will solve for the IDs. We will solve for your credits coming over. We will solve for your records coming over, your history coming over. All you have to do is 001428. When President Allen gives you the time for us to register for classes, to go registrar, to get the help, both Pat Cineron on the Wesley side, you will hear Terrell Holmes, Dr. Holmes on our side, as well as Jarso Segby on our side, getting you registered for courses. When it comes time for housing, you will hear the names of Philip Holmes, and you will hear the names of Dr. Downing. You will hear those names, but no, that's your next process. Getting you financial aid, getting you your courses, and then getting you a place to stay. Again, we're excited about it. I'm Tony Boyle. Please be sure, if you need to reach out to me, aboyle@desu.edu. We're here to help, here to serve. President Allen, back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Boyle. He's normally even more excited than you just saw him. So you got a great leader down there as you come into Delaware State University. One question or one comment that I want to overemphasize, Mr. Boyle made reference to it. I know many of you are thinking now, how do I register for classes next fall? The week of March 22nd, again, the week of March 22nd, you can begin registering for your classes at Delaware State University. We will have more detail on that in the coming days. Our next forum is March 23rd, but the week of March 22nd, you can begin registering for your fall classes at Delaware State University. Second, some of you have asked about housing at Delaware State University. Housing applications for Wesley students will begin the week of April 5th. Again, housing applications for Wesley students will begin the week of April 5th. With that, I turn it over to our Chief Academic Officer and Provost, Dr. Sandra Delauda.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, students, and welcome to Delaware State University. As has been noted by our president and Mr. Boyle, we are all very excited about your transition to the university. Our slogan, "It All Matters," speaks to your success as our top priority. Our Academic Affairs Committee, I do want to thank Dr. Gwen Scott Jones, who chaired that committee, along with several chairs from our Chairs Council that have made sure that all of the transition plans have been put in place to ensure your seamless transition to the university. Those programs, along with our Faculty Senate Chair, they have gone to the Faculty Senate, they have been approved, and we are waiting for the Board of Trustees to make that final approval. So rest assured that all programs will be in place and ready for that March 22nd registration date. Our Office of Student Success, Mr. Boyle mentioned Jarso Segbe. She heads up our Office of Student Success. That's where we focus on advising. All students receive individualized development plans. We take a 360 look at our students, making sure that they receive those co-curricular opportunities to enhance their experience here at the university. We also offer online tutoring. We have a supplemental instruction area. We have a writing studio, all of these pieces to ensure your success. Our faculty have been very engaged in digital learning and other professional development activities to enhance their curriculum delivery. So again, welcome, and I'll be happy to address any questions that you may have at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Delauda. Before we get into questions, you mentioned our digital learning initiative. About 3 years ago now, we entered into an agreement with Apple to provide every incoming freshman in either an iPad or a MacBook Pro based on his or her major. Since that time, we have been doing that for the last 3 years. The idea is that we would be fully digital by 2020. What happened was the COVID-19 pandemic, which we did not, of course, predict. But what it has emerged is unique digital learning, student to teacher, throughout our university. So Wesley students, as you transfer to Delaware State University, recognize that each of you will receive either an iPad or a MacBook Pro based on your major. That will come at no charge to you as a part of how we educate our students in the normal environment and in the COVID-19 world. So again, next fall, expect to receive either an iPad or a MacBook Pro based on your major. With that, we'll turn it over to questions, and I'll ask Mr. McMillan if there are any questions in the chat.
Currently, there are no questions, so if you have questions, please enter your questions in the chat.
Dr. Delauda, there may be some folks out there who are graduate students. We'll talk a little bit about our graduate profile.
Our School of Graduate, Adult, and Extended Studies is an integrated office that serves our graduate programs. We currently offer, I think it's 16 graduate master's programs. We offer 5 doctoral programs, 4 of which are STEM-based PhD, along with the Ed Doctorate degree program. We're looking forward to the addition of our masters in occupational therapy, the masters in criminal justice, and the Master of Arts in teaching. So that will add to our graduate portfolio. We have grown, the enrollment in our graduate program has grown tremendously in the last year or so. We've added, I think, 3 or 4 cohorts in our Masters of Social Work program alone. Our in-person headquarters is based in at our Kirkwood campus in Newcastle County. Most of our STEM research-based programs are here on the main campus. We have a very engaged research portfolio. Funding through the National Science Foundation. We are a land grant, so we do receive quite a bit from the USDA. A land grant match from the state is underwriting our 5th PhD program that will be approved shortly, and that will be in the integrated ag and environmental sciences. Integrating across all of our STEM programs to build that portfolio in the agro sciences in the latest research and technology focus there. We recently received funding from the Department of Defense, and we celebrated our kickoff with Department of Defense with the Quantum Sensing Center. So shout out to Doctors Pati and Tripathi if they are listening today. But that is another workforce development area in the quantum sciences that the Department of Defense is very interested there as well. So we're looking forward to rounding out again in the occupational therapy area that will build in the professional health sciences. The college that's to be established at the Wesley campus in the health sciences. We really are working to build our translational research portfolio. We have the ASO Health Center that we are partnering with the University of Delaware, and again, that's in health disparities. So the occupational area and of course the nursing areas, we do currently feature a Master of Science in Nursing. The addition with Wesley will add to our portfolio in gerontology. And so we're just, and the Masters in critical, it's law studies. We'll build law and justice studies. We'll build our portfolio in the professional areas, professional graduate areas. Okay, so I'll stop there.
Thank you, Dr. Delauda. Just before we go back to questions, I want to turn it over to President Clark for just a second. I know President Clark and I have talked a lot about Wesley tradition. I've learned a lot about Wesley over the last year and want the students to know that we have a great affinity for the Wesley brand and its presence in Dover. One of the early decisions we made was to theme one of our colleges. I'm sure you've heard about that. So the Wesley College of Health and Behavioral Sciences will be the combined colleges of Wesley's Health Sciences portfolio and our College of Health and Behavioral Sciences portfolio. You'll also note that we'll be keeping some of the traditions that have been longstanding at Wesley and integrating them into the Delaware State brand. That includes how we will integrate some of the tremendous efforts in your athletics division, some flagship opportunities that you have with key alumni over time. We see it as a tremendous legacy brand and are looking forward to preserving that legacy here in Dover. President Clark, you want to add anything on that score?
No, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I know everything from the administration's been discussing how we can do that and a lot of really good ideas. And I know our alumni boards have been in touch. So, there's been a lot of focus, as rightfully so, on our current students, current faculty and staff, but also it's refreshing when you're engaged in this type of partnership with somebody that who lives down the street, collectively also appreciate the legacy and the alums. So bringing this whole collective family together, I think at this time early on, will only help us moving forward. And again, there's a lot to celebrate here. There's a lot of challenges we still need to work through, but at the end of the day, the opportunities that are going to be afforded these young men and women who will then take their place in the communities that we live and make a positive change is something that we should celebrate and we should be very excited for.
Great, thank you. Back to you, Mr. McMillan. Any questions in the chat?
What about internships for incoming seniors? How would that work?
So I will. Oh, okay, sorry. Depending on your major, so we do have a career services office here that does oversee the big picture. A lot of our programs do have that curriculum requirement built into their program. We do have a very active College of Business that does provide some opportunities. Again, social work, nursing has a clinical requirement, teaching, they have the field requirements built into their curriculum. So we have a two-pronged approach here, career services as the first pass, and then also within our departments.
And I just want to add, and Dr. Delauda alluded to it, we have an executive exchange program in the College of Business that is open to all of our students that we call Deep Day. Remember that, Deep Day. Deep Day takes usually about 800 of our students and upwards of about 40 employers from across many disciplines, has a full day of activity for them, networking, exceptional seminars, and breakfast and lunch, and a competition at the end, a student-based competition at the end of the day that has been phenomenal. It's one of the best exchange programs for a college or university in the country, in my view. And you will have full access to that, as well as the career services, what we're now calling Career Pathways program, that is also being revamped to ensure that you have real opportunities while you are at Delaware State University and when you graduate. One key factoid for you, within 6 months of graduation, 86% of our graduates find themselves in a job in their discipline or in grad school. So we have a good track record, and we're looking forward to adding to that with the Wesley family. Other questions, Mr. McMillan?
Will Wesley's graduation requirements transfer to DSU, or will we have to adapt to DSU requirements?
Mr. Boyle, I'll let you start.
For programs, we'll say to students, your program that you're in, married to a program, equated to a program on our side here at Delaware State University for your disciplines. There are some exceptions to those where, for example, if it's an accreditation exception that may exist between, for example, in the College of Business versus our College of Business, maybe one exception to that rule. I know because, for example, nursing and nursing is both an ACE accredited situation. So we'll say to you, your teach out will be within the program that you are in there at Wesley, unless it has an accreditation exception, as it were. So what program you're in, that program will be taught out, you'll earn that credential. If there's an accreditation exception to that, you'll be given the benefit and the plus benefit of the accreditation benefit where that's concerned. So like I said, the two that come to mind, for example, is in the College of Business, for example, we're ACCSB accredited. So if there's a change in the requirements there, the benefit to you will be an ACCSB accredited College of Business degree. ACE for that in nursing, we have similar rules that should align the same way. But again, the program that you're in, it'll come over and we'll teach out those courses within the timeline. As I said, 4 years or less is the intent to do that program. Yes, sir, President Allen.
Yeah, but just to add on accreditation, because our students might not know those terms, just think of that as an overall approval body for both Wesley and Delaware State, actually, which is great for us. They call them middle states for the overall college and universities. But within each system, there are approval bodies by major. And we are fortunate that in the nursing program, we have the same approval body. Mr. Boyle talked to them about ACEN. So that is kind of one-to-one. And in the College of Business, for instance, and there are others, we have an approval body that is the most regarded approval body for colleges of business in the country. So you're getting some quality from us. We're certainly getting some quality for you, but you can be assured that we'll teach out your program in the way that you expected it and graduate from Delaware State University. President Clark.
Yeah, I'd just like to tag on that for the Wolverines that are chiming in, and just like Dr. Allen just mentioned, when we've had our meetings, we've talked about accreditors, middle states, and the importance of that. And just like Mr. Boyle highlighted, and the accreditors will hold us both firm to, is transition should and will be as seamless as possible to you as a student. And that's why middle states is looking. And just like Mr. Boyle said, we've already found similarities where it is seamless, and those that may be different, that's where our respective teams come into play to make sure that it remains seamless to you, to ensure that you graduate on time, to ensure that you get in the communities to serve on time. And as Dr. Allen just mentioned, the great thing about the holistic accreditation body is we're under the same one, and that's the Middle States accreditation team that you and I have discussed on several instances in our town halls, and you've seen in some updates. So everything is moving in the right direction to allow you this seamless transition over to Del State. And like I said, the opportunities that'll be afforded to you. We've discussed it inside the Wolverine Den. Now in this bigger form, as you can see, are vast and very impressive.
Thank you, President Clark. Mr. McMillan, any other questions in the chat?
How will scholarships provided by Wesley College transfer over to DSU?
As you talk about that, Mr. Boyle, don't you talk about the tuition differential as well? I'm sure they're wondering about that too.
To all of our students at Wesley, know that as you come over, automatically, Delaware State University obviously is a state institution. We do have two rates at Delaware State University, an in-state rate and an out-of-state rate. Both of those rates are less than what you pay today. And for example, for a year, tuition only at Delaware State University for an in-state student is only $8,000. For example, $4,000 in the fall, $4,000 in the spring. You will see that benefit automatically coming to you when you come over to Delaware State University. And the reason I asked you earlier to ensure that you add us to the financial aid record 001428, please add that, because we can then look at your record, check your history, and then see in terms of the best financial package for you as a student coming to Delaware State University. And that's what's critical, right? Because in many cases, there are adjustments that will be made automatically that will be, in many cases, more than you have at Wesley now in terms of different offers that you may have. We looked at that. As our teams work together in packaging students, that value was right there. So again, not only less in tuition, but more important that we're able to package you as soon as we possibly can on our side so you can get that financial package in your hands. President Allen?
Yes, the only other thing I'd add is, as you all know, we are a historically Black college and university, and Wesley is a minority-serving institution. As we become one institution, you will be able to avail yourselves of many scholarship opportunities that are afforded to HBCUs like Delaware State University. There are two sort of overall associative bodies. One is the United Negro College Fund. The other is the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. We are associated with the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, and I can tell you that there are ripe with millions of dollars in opportunities that come to not only Delaware State University, but public HBCUs across the country each year. I don't know how many of you are NBA basketball fans, but the HBCUs were highlighted in the NBA All-Star game on Sunday, and about $3 million were raised just in that game for both of those groups. So just know that across disciplines, you will see many, many scholarship opportunities at Delaware State University that we will make sure that you have knowledge of, apply for, and can represent the institution well. Mr. McMillan, any other questions in the chat?
How will students know what classes to choose for next fall, since Wesley's list of classes don't have the same names?
Dr. Law, do you want to start?
Okay, so as I noted earlier, your programs were articulated with ours. That was the role of the Academic Affairs Committee. And those approved programs of study will be what we utilize. Once approved, they will go to the registrar, and that's what we will be utilizing for registration purposes. So as the president noted, we should be ready with both of our systems. We should have a system for registration in place by the week of the 22nd, based upon the programs of study.
And I know Mr. Boyle probably wants to jump in here, but he and his counterparts at Wesley are working very closely together to make sure that that process is a seamless one. So you will have a point of contact at Wesley who is working directly with our team here at Delaware State.
Certainly, President Allen, you're correct. Pat Centeron, our registrar there at Wesley, working with Terrell Holmes on our side, our registrar here, will work closely with the faculty on their side, again, with Jarso Segby on our side, to ensure that that happens, because the alignment literally is by student. Every student within their major aligned to a major and what's next for them to take in terms of courses. And then that they're properly advised into those courses and register for those courses is the protocol that we will follow he will give you more details within the next week and a half along those lines.
Mr. McMillan, other questions?
Can we choose Wesley or DSU for housing?
Yeah, you will have that opportunity. As I said, our housing application for Wesley students will be available to you the week of April 5th. Again, the week of April 5th. One of the reasons that President Clark and I thought this would be an exceptional partnership is because it grows the footprint significantly for both institutions. So obviously there was housing stock here at Delaware State University that you can avail yourself of, and certainly housing stock that you're familiar with at Wesley College. So the applications for the full footprint will be available to you the week of April 5th.
Will Wesley graduation requirements transfer to DSU, or will we have to adapt to DSU requirements?
As I said, and I think Mr. Boyle and Dr. Delauda alluded to it, we have independent approval bodies that are focused on this being a seamless transition for you as a Wesley student becoming a Delaware State University student. So as a practical matter, all of those details are being worked out now. You heard Dr. Delauda talk about the Academic Affairs Committee on our side in collaboration with the faculty at Wesley. Ultimately, particularly if you're a graduating senior this year, you will graduate as a Wesley College graduate, obviously. If you are transitioning into the Delaware State University family, we have a responsibility to honor your program as it was introduced to you. And what we believe is a significant benefit, there are several programs across our university where you will have the added benefit of additional approval bodies that are of national and international significance.
That's it from our side, Dr. Allen.
So I'll start and let President Clark end this. You'll see behind me one of the mottos we talk about here at Delaware State University. The first you heard from Dr. Delauda, it all matters. It all matters to us because you matter to us. And I believe that to be the most diverse contemporary HBCU in the country, we need you. And we hope to earn your trust and your choice. Second one is behind me, the power of we. We recognize that this is a long process, sometimes a difficult process, but in the end, we believe this is going to create more opportunities for more students like you who are here now and who will be standing on your shoulders in years to come. So take this as one of those moments, one of those defining moments, not only for yourself and your family, but for generations to come here at Delaware State University, with the proud Wesley tradition behind us. With that, thank you. Please continue to ask your questions. Know we will be as responsive as we can be, and we'll see you again on March 23rd. President Clark.
Thanks, Tony. Again, we mentioned this the other day, the faculty and staff. When you go to class, take a look to your right, take a look to your left. If your friends, teammates, fellow Wolverines were not part of this discussion, make sure they become it. You can't get informed unless you allow yourself to become informed. And this is an incredible opportunity that lies ahead of you. You've heard me say this many times, but I'll repeat it now. If you dream it and you truly believe it, and then you apply yourself and work towards it, you will become it. Because today's preparation will lead to tomorrow's professional separation. And you have that pathway in front of you. And please, please take advantage. So get your friends, get your teammates, get your future classmates all together, and please join us in this next information session because it's very important. Get to meet the leadership that's going to be affecting a good portion of the remainder of your life. And again, I can't thank Dr. Allen and his team enough for all the effort they've been doing and the collective transition teams making sure that this process continues forward and is as beneficial as possible for the majority of people as possible. And I can't overemphasize the power of we. That's what it's about. Be your brothers and sisters keeper, one team, one family, one future. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, President Clark. And all friends, just know that this broadcast will be on our landing page where it says Wesley. and it is www.desu.edu. So all the information will be there. Feel free to share with your classmates and friends, and we'll see you real soon. Take care.